What's up, everyone? This is Kid and Petter once again coming to you live from my mom's basement. I am joined by C. Freeze and Jones, and we are going to be reviewing an eventful midweek races plural from Suzuka. C. Freeze, how are you doing today?
Yo. What's going on? I'm doing good.
Jones, how are you?
I'm doing great.
That is fantastic to hear. The link to the races will be in the description. Hopefully you watch them before you listen to this. That would make a lot more sense. But I mean, we got to start with
top right corner. You click
one of the corner. You'll see it. We really had a tough time following up China, or at least I thought it would be. And I found in my probably 10 or so races of commentating, Japan was probably the best race that I've seen at a TCR. It was pretty much nonstop action from the front to the back. Seafreeze, you were involved right off the start. You had a pretty good qualifying. You were involved in a little bit of a brouhaha with defending champion Gochu guy.
I was.
I heard that you guys aren't on talking terms anymore.
No, we are. That was actually our first incident, I believe, together since him joining the league back in season 5. So it's been a long time. But yeah, that was our first run-in, unfortunately. I don't know. Going through it, I don't know. It just kind of everything got backed up into the S's, and with Sean going wide and coming back, it just kind of everyone got just backed up, and I'm just going through my regular line. I couldn't really do much, and then I think he didn't see me, and then we got tangled, but we didn't get any damage. That was the good thing, and then we just kept going. But I think if that didn't happen, we could have been right up there, towards the front for sure.
Yeah, I mean that is a good point. It's really easy, especially with Sean getting knocked off. And I got to give credit to Sean. I honestly had switched off of him, I think, during the broadcast because, I figured he got in the gravel. There's no way he's getting back on track, at least ahead of anyone. And by golly, Miss Molly, he came back. He only lost one spot after doing a little bit of rallying. But overall, I mean, we knew going in Suzuka was going to be a strategy race, somewhat similar to China. It was going to be a one-stop all along, and that's why we both discounted Talon at the start. I thought that he was going to be going ultra to soft. Instead, he stretches ultras out long enough to make the mediums work until the end, similar to Opus and Golden Glass.
Supers, but okay.
I still call it.
Yeah, it was the supers. I was curious if Sean was on that same strategy and if he changed it because of his misfortunes early. He also went supers and then softs twice.
Well, yeah, he pitted extremely early.
And
that kind of forced him to the 2-stop. But if you look at Sean's strategy, all throughout his career, he loves the 2-stop. I probably could have guessed that he was going to do the 2-stop 3 months ago. If you would have told me when we were racing, I knew he was doing the 2-stop. It's just how his driving style is, and he likes it. It works for him. It didn't quite work for him, but I mean, I could have guessed that from a mile away for sure.
Yeah, the supers. I mean, it is a lot like China. The softest tire. It was ultras in China. It's supers in Japan. To clarify, they go off extremely quick. I couldn't get more than 2 or 3 decent laps out of them. And to see Opus on Wednesday, I think he did 7 or 8, and then Talon do the same thing on Thursday. It was surprising to me. I thought there was no chance. I actually thought for a little bit Sean would catch up to him. At the end, he was blisteringly quick once he got past Tommaso, but everything kind of stalled out. I think his softs probably started to hit the wall Speaking of hitting the wall, uh, Gijo Breezy, tough race for the pole sitter.
Yeah. I mean, he probably, if he didn't make that one spin coming out of Spoon Corner, I think probably would have won. Or it would have been close. It was close between Talon and Breezy. And if Talon, I think by the end of it, was maybe 3 seconds behind Breezy. I'm not 100% sure. If he, if he closed up, that could have brought Sean back into it. But could have been interesting. I don't know. But yeah, very unfortunate. I mean, good for me and the Toroso gang. So I'm not complaining. Talon's not complaining. Breezy probably is.
What do you
But
guys think
unfortunate.
overall with Platinum at Suzuka? There were a lot of spin-offs. Just
Yeah,
there's
there was a lot.
obviously some good talent in Platinum, a lot of fast guys, and I wonder why we see that. Is it people pushing too hard too early? Is it lack of concentration? I couldn't explain it for myself. So what do you guys think?
I think the biggest thing is everyone in Platinum is very strong. Everyone is very very has a lot of skill, very quick, very competitive, and you have to push all the time. You have to the best of the best in TCR. And I think the biggest thing, if people didn't do practice going into it, is the tire temps, those super softs at the beginning. A lot of people spun
Right.
early, and that's probably the biggest reason. But also, Japan is probably one of the harder tracks because if you make one mistake, you're gone. I mean, because the grass is right next to almost all of the track. And it's not
Right.
like other tracks. You make a mistake, all right, you're fine. No, if you make a mistake, you're gonna pay for it. But also the tire temp. So those two probably is probably the reason.
Yeah, I think I'm probably during a practice session on Monday. It's a driver's track. One of very few left. I mean, you got Monza, you got Spa, you got Suzuka. Suzuka's obviously one of the finest circuits in the world. But by meaning driver's track, it means it's really easy to make a mistake. Like you said, Seafreeze, there's grass. There's really no AstroTurf. It's a lot of corners off camber. I mean, there are a lot of intricacies that during a race when you're really trying to give 100%, it is very easy to make mistakes pretty much everywhere at the track. I mean, even coming out of the chicane, we saw this happen to I think XP and Golden. I think Xander did it in Platinum. There's a bump where the pit lane starts, and it goes straight through the track. I guess there's a tunnel there, and especially on like worn tires. I mean, it is a handful. I almost lost it there a couple times myself. Um, it is extremely difficult to stay focused around Suzuka, especially with the tire wear and everything like that.
Yep. It's it really is a very difficult track. I think if you look at the qualifying times at China, I think first to 19th was like 1.9 seconds, which is really good for 19 drivers.
Yeah.
I remember we had the poles at 26.8 by Breezy, and I think some people set I don't know 29. So like the gap was much bigger because it's more of a wheel track too.
Yeah.
So you have to play that in there. So the controller guys have a little bit of a problem. But
it's a big rhythm track.
I get
you need a good
the
setup too.
I get the sense that there's a lot of hype coming into this season for Platinum, and you've got some veteran guys who are going to be at the top, and you've got some kind of go get 'em guys that came from Golden that are ready to prove themselves. And I get the feeling these first two races, in the first few laps, everybody's trying to to do it all early, and that's where these incidents are showing up. But I just wonder, it's got to get better and better each race, I imagine, and I can't wait to see that first race when it all comes together. Everybody runs it clean, and we ought to see some real good action.
Yeah.
Well, that'll
I
probably
think
be
also
in Abu
Japan is
Dhabi.
such a tight track that it's hard to put two cars side by side at really any point. Even on the straight, it's tight.
It's
Right.
really difficult. It takes a lot more effort than most tracks to overtake at Suzuka. Just because there's not like a single. I mean, most like modern tracks, right? You got a DRS zone on a long straight, and then you've got a really sharp corner where it's easy to overtake. In Suzuka, I mean, the first corner, double apex, uh, not easy at all. And then really the second best one is probably coming out of 130R, where you can't go side by side. You don't have DRS either. And then it's an extremely so there's really nowhere to pass. It's one of those things where you really have to work whoever you're trying to overtake for a lap or two prior to be able to get around.
Yeah, let's go over podiums. So Talon was able to win first for him, my teammate. Very happy for him. He put a lot of practice into this week, I'm sure, as others as well. So congrats, Talon. I think that's your fourth win, and the first one that's not actually on a street circuit. So congrats. He won Singapore last season. And 2 Baku races. I'm pretty sure that 2 seasons prior. So he's got his 1 win. So not on the street circuit. So congrats to him. He earned it for sure. Second place was Sheeny Boy, right, Sean?
Yep.
Sean for second. And third was ZX. So pretty impressive. I think ZX started even outside the points, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was somewhere outside of 10th for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like really, my vote for driver of the day, I think would go to Talon because that was an impressive drive. But outside of Talon, I would say ZX probably had the best race. Sean, he got a little lucky with the virtual safety car.
That's also true. Yeah.
And he probably gained at least 10 seconds, 12 seconds, something like that over ZX. And ZX actually wound up stuck behind Tommaso because they were on the same tire.
Yeah, that was a really,
softs.
for those who didn't watch it yet, I highly recommend it. That was a really important sequence there. Sean caught a virtual safety car and at the perfect time, and I think ZX may have had an easier time with Damaso had it not been for Sean breathing down his neck right there. So that was a really important sequence. And
Sean came out on the quicker tires.
Yeah.
ZX was on mediums and Sean was on softs.
Yeah.
And Sean was able to just cut right past ZX, and then Tommaso gave ZX, a little more of a fight than I think he probably expected.
Yep.
And he wound up stuck behind him for the rest of the race. Really, Talon was. Talon was pretty much untouchable. That strategy, if you can make that work, the super softs to the medium, I think obviously was the best the best way to go about it. I just think there were very few people
if you can pull it off.
Yeah, yeah, right. I mean that was the problem. Like those are the only two, Opus and Talon. Those are the only two that actually did that strategy, and it worked. I mean, they both won. So, like I said, that is preferable if you can make it work. It was eye opening to me. I didn't think. Anyways, Freeze.
Kitten.
Hey, your first points. Did you finish the points last week?
I did. Thank you very much. I got
Oh,
2 points.
oh, there goes there goes my segue. Freeze. You had a pretty good
Have you?
race.
Did you watch the Platinum race? Yeah, I think you were commentating it, Kitten.
I was too focused on my craft.
Okay.
Um, no, but you had a really good race.
Thank you. Thank you.
Despite the first lap issues with Go 2,
Yeah.
we brought it home in sixth. Correct.
5th, and then with penalties to 7th. But
So I'm just cutting I'm the median here. How did your race go? How was your strategy? How were your tire temps?
Okay. Everything was good. I think I think same as China. I had top 5 material. Top 5, top 6 material, which is good. I think in qualifying, I think you said on the stream that I retired because I was content with my lap time. I actually did crash out, coming off the spoon corner, similar to Breezy. Um, I, I I went out, hit the gravel, hit the wall on the right side, coming out of spoon, broke my wing. Then I flew across the left side of the track and kissed the wall, and my tire popped off. I was so mad. I was hitting the desk. I was really mad, but at least I got at least one good lap in, and I was still able to stay 6th by the end of it. So only dropped 1 position. But if I had 2 more laps, I think I could have been a little farther up. Probably past Go To. I think it was maybe 2 tenths above. But still a good race. It was a good battle at the end with Roll trying to keep him off. Was a battle. And I did keep him off, but due to penalties, I lost it. But yes, it was very fun. But I think positives are we're looking good as far as Torosos. So
How do you feel about your approach? I know you're not happy with ninth and 7th. So is there anything you need to change, or do you just need to get your luck turned around a little bit?
I mean, going into next week, Australia, I do like that track. I think it's going to be still very tight as every week will be. I think I'll still be fighting the same people. Me and Taylor are going to put in a lot of work for next week as well, and I think I'm just having minor things in the race that could be better. I think my luck is not the best, but it's not the worst. I'm still getting points here and there.
You could be me.
I'd rather not, but yeah, we'll get it turned around. It is also very early, but I'm positive. I'm positive, looking forward. And I really didn't do much racing last season. This is so we'll see. We'll see how it goes, but I'm looking forward to it. But moving into, I was racing with. I was kind of right in front of Roll, and I talked to him right after. And I said it was a good race, and I told him my battery was very, very low, and my fuel I was almost running out. So I said during the S corners, the S section, I had it all battery and none, fuel to lean. And then on the straights, I'd kick it all the way up. And Will said I was doing the same thing. He was so mad because we were doing the same exact thing, and he couldn't get past. I was, it was just funny, but yeah, I was kind of holding everyone up behind. And at the last corner, I had a look on Damaso, but he kind of defended well, and I didn't really want to risk that. I just wanted to kind of finish where I, was in 5th place at the time, so I just really wanted to finish there. But yeah, eventful race. Some good. The midfield is tight. The midfield is tight, and it's going to be like
Sure
that
is.
all season. But I'm looking to see those other people who are kind of struggling at the moment get back into the picture. So we'll probably see that soon.
Yeah, I mean a lot of the guys. You know, I'm the first person that jumps into mind is Starboy.
Yeah.
He's qualified top five first two races. Got taken out by Kev Berge in China. Unfortunately, he disconnected while he was in the top five in Japan. He looks to be pretty quick. Spec Ops is good. I think like one of the biggest things, at least for me, was there was such great racing in Golden last year in promoting the top six or five or whatever into platinum class. I think has elevated platinum that much more because the first two races
Yeah.
have, I mean, they have been extremely fun to watch, exciting, from start to finish, and in that for me, makes platinum class.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to watch.
I think it's
Yeah. They
very
definitely
clear
fill the
that
gaps.
the talent is there this season for sure. And like I was alluding to earlier, when it all comes together, when everybody gets on their game all in one race, it ought to be something special to watch, even
Yeah, I
compared to what
know.
we've seen.
Yeah.
Right. I think Swerner's had some bad luck. ZX.
Psycho as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Psycho. You can't even forget that. I mean, Psycho. I mean, he's been great too, except for in the race.
Can't catch a break in the races so
Always, yeah.
far.
Right. If he can catch a break, um, but yeah. I mean, Psycho, ZX, Warner. I mean, these guys. Even W had a really good race. I thought in Japan.
W.
The points didn't really portray that so much, but
Yeah.
I think he's been very solid through the first two races at least.
Well, I just want to say this. I think um, we're kind of missing another key component. Like you said, Starboy, some bad luck. But the Haas's were not there last race, and they really technically were not there as far as performance wise at China. Downtown and season 4 champion Destiny. Um, if Destiny probably, hopefully, I think he's going to show up next week. Um, on his day, he could probably mix it up with the top 5, and
Oh yeah, definitely.
still early in the championship, he would have to do a lot to get back into it after 2 races with no points. But I'd like to see where he mixes in as well. But yeah, a couple people, I think Xander lacking some pace, some other people lacking some pace, some just fortunate luck and all. But I think towards the season, we'll see a lot of these people towards the backer who are struggling improve a lot. We got to keep our eye on that.
That's a
Yeah, I
good
think.
point. You mentioned midfield. I'm looking at the roster right now. And just from the first two races and just knowing these guys, there isn't really. It's you've got your top few drivers, and then everybody else is midfield. There isn't anybody lagging behind.
Yeah,
Um, everybody's got pace here. So
I think on a pace level, I think midfield is everyone else, but besides the top. But I think
exactly.
whatever else goes into it is luck, your strategy, your actual pace and how you overtake and all that other stuff. That's the complete driver, and
Yep.
we'll see. But any final thoughts on platinum? We'll dive into a little golden action for a couple
Congrats
minutes.
to Talon. He is not only a very good driver, he's also Pennsylvania's top cocaine dealer. So big ups to him.
I want to say congratulations to Talon for sure. It surprised me a little bit. I haven't raced with Talon much, so I don't know him that well. But so for me, he kind of came out of nowhere. But very good drive by him. and
Yeah,
then
driver of the day, guys.
and
Driver of the
then
day.
I'd have to go with Talon. I'd have to go with Talon. He gives me a good hookup, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
Um,
I want to give one more
Oh,
shout out, just as a golden boy here. I am gonna warn the platinum guys, watch out for ZX because he's coming from the back of the field for these couple of nice finishes, and I
I
can't
feel the
wait for
same
him
way.
to put qualifying together.
I really like. Whenever I said I think ZX is going to finish in the top 5, and I proposed that to a handful of guys, and they laughed it off. I mean, ZX should have finished second in this race. I think we all are in agreement with that. Um, he had an unfortunate. He didn't check the weather in China, so he qualified on softs. Kind of got screwed by that. But overall, I think ZX has the pace. Legitimately,
Yeah, I like to needle these veteran platinum drivers a little bit too. Give them a little
yeah. I mean that
motivation.
helps too. I mean, it's a source of pride getting beaten by 30 seconds by a top 5 platinum class driver last year.
Yeah, maybe we feel like we need to justify how much we sucked versus the X.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But Seafreeze, if you want to transition,
yeah, let's do a little
not
golden.
to
We're
a
at
different gender.
26 minutes
Oh,
right now, so we don't have a lot of time, but we'll get a little bit into golden.
we don't matter.
Yeah, not a podium. Opus, Jones, and Kitten. Opus had the pole, and he was able to control the race very nicely, and ultimately, get that win. And I think others were quite, they had potential. I think who was it up towards the front? I forget who else qualified up towards the front.
Pretty much everyone on ultras. I think
Super
Darkest,
Real Spirit was up front.
Spirit, yeah,
Spirit. Oh, Spirit.
uh,
He had a bad race. He had a bad race too because
Guillermo,
I think his tires went. He
Fatal.
yeah.
Fatal was the top qualifier on softs.
You're right,
With,
right. He was
yeah,
seventh or so, something like that.
I think it was like P4 actually. I might be wrong.
So it's like the same thing. I think a lot of people struggled with those tire temps early on, but I think everyone's still improving. Like I said, same kind of thing in platinum. I think over the course of the season, people will improve. Um, but yeah, just missing that little bit. Um, but the championship looks good. It looks like a four-way battle. So that should be interesting.
Who's in this 4-way battle?
Um,
Darkest is at the top, 37. Kitten, you and I are at 33 behind him, and Opus has 31. So it's real tight in the top 4.
Opus has had the pace. Yeah, he didn't have the strategy the first race, but he did have the strategy on Wednesday. Uh, and like I've mentioned a couple times, um, Opus definitely has a great name, Opus to Penguin. I don't know what that means. I think I looked it up. It's a cartoon from like the 80s. But Opus to Penguin has a great name, and he also has a lot of pace. Uh, it's just hopefully for his sake, not mine, he can find the kind of consistency that he had at. And on that note,
I thought your mic cut out. Go ahead.
no, I was like that was like a thing where like someone else starts talking. It's like a conversational. Sorry, Jones. Jones, save us.
So I wanted to mention Opus. Yeah, he certainly. I was chasing him down at the end in Suzuka, and it took me a while. I was on mediums. It took me a while to gather myself, which was on me. But once I did, and I was gaining pace, it was obvious that he was in control of his distance from me. So no matter what I did, he had it very well planned out at the end. So a little sneaky from my
Yeah.
perspective, and I'm not sure what'll happen when I do get on track next to him because that hasn't happened yet. But from
Right,
my
which
vantage point, he definitely knows
we'll
what he's
see.
doing.
I just want to point out, Jones, just like last week in China, this week another great overtake. I think was it the first corner? Yet I remember watching it. You had a really nice overtake. Um, I forget on who, but I have to go back and watch it. Two good races in a row and really good overtakes. So watch out to all golden drivers. When you see Jones in your mirrors, just watch out because he's going to overtake you quite quickly.
Yeah, I blocked him on channel.
I get a thrill of the. I like the difficult overtakes because it's kind of a game of chicken usually, and I don't know. I love going all out and seeing what happens. It's a lot of fun. There's no other way to race, right?
Yeah. Final thoughts from Golden?
Well,
Yeah, I mean, I think you covered it. We got a four-way race at the moment. I think there are a couple of guys that, due to bad luck, can contend. Spirit obviously has some pace. Maybe Giggle, maybe Gade, maybe who am I missing, Jones?
I think you're missing a few. Here, I'm gonna make a quick prediction here. I think Australia. I'm gonna name it the blender for Golden right now. You're
All
gonna see
right.
a surprise winner, and you're gonna see some of the top guys in the standings DNF. It's gonna be the blender, and it's gonna mix up the whole season.
Quite possible.
I like that prediction. I'm gonna have to go. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think Darkest will probably win for Australia. Um, but I do like your prediction. It's a good one. Blender, blender, like it.
Do you think Kitten's got the stuff to win next week, Seafreeze?
I don't like
Um,
Australia.
nah, I don't really think so. I think Opus does. I think he could as well. Um, he has a good shot. But yeah, Kitten, he's kind of there, but he might be the one that DNFs, and then he'll bring the blender next race. He's gonna dip. He's gonna get no points. He's just gonna dip.
On that note, I'm probably going to go kill myself. Thanks, Seafreeze and Jones,
whoa,
for your time.
platinum. We got predictions on platinum, real quick. Who do we got for podiums next week? I think I predicted Breezy to win Japan last week, and probably would have happened if he didn't mess up, but Talon did win, so kind of not really right with my predictions. But let's do predictions for Japan.
I'm gonna give you my prediction real quick. I'm taking Sean running away, coasting past the checkered flag. Not even close next week, Sean.
Okay. Who do you got behind him? Second and third? Or
Uh, I think GoTo has to show up next week. Um, really disappointing performance by his standards at Japan. And I know he's quick at any track, so I expect him to get second. Uh, third, give me Joe Breezy.
okay. Kim?
I will agree with Jonesy on this one. I will say I think Sean will win, but P2, I'm looking at a comeback story. I've got Psycho Sane, Muy Obrigado.
Nice.
That's all I know of. That's not only Portuguese. Um, I'll say Psycho Sane. I mean, he's had the pace the first couple weeks. I think he'll be there. And following in that theme, I think Xandermar. I want to throw some
All right,
pressure on
here we
him.
go.
I'm going to throw some pressure on Xandamar to not finish last.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna put him on the podium. At least I was gonna say at least not finish last, like you were saying.
No, I was saying
do
I was
agree
saying
with that.
P3. I was saying P3.
You were. Oh, all right. Well, I'm gonna have to
You
disagree
want to
there.
fight?
I'm
I swear
gonna
to
have to
God.
put Sean first. I do think he'll come back. He's won in Australia before. I think he'll ultimately get that. Let's put Breezy second, and third we'll put. I think he's been pretty quick in Australia before, so we'll put Roll on the podium. But yeah, I think that's kind of we got for this week. If you haven't watched our races, please do so.